His name is Paul Heyman. He ran ECW, a successful independent wrestling league. You were the renegade. You were the guy that created a lot of the stuff that the WWF did back in '97 when they turned to sex, when they turned to violent, more cutting-edge storylines. Now you are the, as you pointed out, lead writer for SmackDown, one of the properties of WWE. You say that Vince is the head writer.
He is.
Yeah. Final say?
Oh, on everything.
Can you win an argument with him?
Of course, because he's very open to it. And I've lost a lot of arguments to him, too, but I don't know. See, I like arguing with Vince. I don't know if he likes arguing with me, but I like it because I learn from him a lot.
What are your arguments about largely? Because again, I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that ECW, you guys did push the envelope, right? Which ultimately was what the WWF did, which wrestled back some of the audience from WCW that the company then went public for $1 billion. So you kind of had the ideas before them. But now they're, to me, a lot more conservative. You got a board of directors. This company is a public company. Do you push Vince to push the envelope?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't know if pushing the envelope is the answer right now. I would venture to say that everybody who's on the writing staff has a much different view than the other guy. If I had the same view as this guy, there's no reason to have both of us on staff. You're wasting money. It benefits the company to have me and have somebody else that views things in a different way, and have another kid that views things a different way than both of us. And Vince then, much like, and I don't know what the equivalent is here in Canada, but in the United States you have the president. The president will have, the Secretary of Defense and have the Secretary of State and have another advisor, and he says, okay, here's our plan. We're gonna go invade Mexico. Okay, well, Mr. President, don't invade Mexico because the peso will drop and it'll kill the economy.
Right.
And then another guy says, yeah, let's invade Mexico because we'll look strong to everybody else. And the president takes all the information and says,
right. But the president of the WWE is a very different guy than he was 10 years ago because now he's a public company.
Right.
Are the hands of this company tied to some extent because it's more corporate now, creatively? Is it more difficult to push the envelope than it was maybe in '97, '98? I
don't think so, because if Vince wanted to push the envelope, he would push the envelope, and anybody who didn't want to go along with him could jump off anytime they wanted to. He is a...
Can you say that, though, when you got a board of directors, when you got investors? Because it's not just you. It used to be a family company. Now there's a whole lot of people that got a whole lot of money invested, and these are guys that wear suits and ties. These are not necessarily the traditional wrestling fans.
I think that's a real misconception of what the board of directors of the WWE would be about, because anybody who is involved in this company, especially on an investment standpoint, better believe in the vision of Vince McMahon, or I don't know what they're investing in.
So, Paul, how does the storyline, how does the writing transpire? It comes from up here. Do you sit in a room and all of a sudden you kick out ideas and then you churn out the final product? How does it happen?
Well, it's a constant brainstorming session. You certainly want the input of the talent. The talent is a key thing nowadays, because if the talent is into it, they can really make it happen. So you solicit the opinion of the talent. You solicit the opinion of guys like Pat Patterson and Jack Lanza and these old school guys who have been with the company for many, many, many years. And then you have writers, and most of the, I think, with the exception of Michael Hayes, I'm the oldest writer on, Bruce Pritchard too, but I'm the oldest writer on staff. And you have these young writers who try to keep their finger on the pulse today, and everybody brainstorms these ideas. Now, what the lead writer will do is really...
And that's you.
Well, on SmackDown I am.
Right.
And that's really, to me, it just means I'm the go-to guy. It just means I coordinate these ideas that the SmackDown team will have, and I get them down into pitches. And then we get in front of Vince, and we pitch them. And some ideas he likes, and some ideas he hates. And some ideas that he likes, he says, well, let's change it to do this, or let's refine it to do... It's the constant state of refinement in these storylines. You're always making them better, 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 better. And stuff that he doesn't like, at least he'll hear your argument. And there have been stuff that he hated that we sit there and say, but Vince, look at it from this perspective. And he sits there and he says, well, okay, I understand that. Let's try it out. And there's other things that he doesn't like that he doesn't want to go with.
The other side, Triple H and Stephanie, how much influence do those two have on the final product of Raw?
It depends on what ideas they pitch to Vince. And if Vince likes the ideas. I mean, Vince is the final say. Vince is the Supreme Court. And nothing happens on the show without Vince blessing it. So if it's on the show, it's real simple in that company. If the company does well, Vince deserves all the credit. And if the company doesn't, he'll take all the blame. he'll take it right on the chin. I mean, make no mistake about it. He will take the blame, and he does deserve the credit.
Triple H, Stephanie, is there a conflict because of, I mean, first of all, Stephanie's Vince's daughter, and she has an influential role in the writing of that show, and Triple H, of course, is a key participant in that. Because wearing too many hats can screw up a company.
You'd have to ask Vince that. I don't know how much Triple H and Stephanie have more influence than anybody else. And being Vince's daughter is both a benefit to Stephanie and it's a hardship to Stephanie because he demands more out of her. He expects more out of her. She's a McMahon. She has learned at the feet of the master for 26 years, and he expects more out of her than he does anybody else.
So you got an easy job then, because you're not a McMahon, right? So he doesn't expect much from you. So you can mail it in, right, Paul?
I usually do, yes.
Yeah, okay.
At least my critics will say so.
More OTR with Paul Heyman, the lead writer from SmackDown, and also, of course, he assumes a role as a manager for The Big Show. We'll talk
I'm an
more.
agent now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.